When I first joined Earth 2, I saw that it was definitely the wild, wild west. Hi guys, Earth2Wiz here, and welcome back to my channel. I am super excited because I am celebrating my 1 month anniversary on Earth 2. If you're new to my channel, welcome, a warm welcome to everyone. So I joined on January 11th and I am filming this video on March 5th. So actually, technically, it has been longer than a month, closer to 2 months that I have been on Earth 2. Oh my gosh, time has flown by, as so much has happened. So much is going on, so I really wanted to take the time today, film a video, talk about it, talk about all of the good, bad, the ugly, give you guys some tips, some tricks, and give you my predictions as well. So let's get into it. So first of all, I just want to start out and say so much has happened on Earth 2 in the past month plus, and I really think this video can go on and on forever. I can talk about a lot. So to stay organized and to stay on topic, I have broken this video down into different topic points. I will put timestamps in the description. So number one, you look at the world completely different after being on Earth 2. What I mean by this is you look at limits and opportunities, you look at space and time differently. So first of all, limits and opportunity. What do I mean by this? Well, I have traveled all over the world. I have traveled and I have lived all over the world. I have lived in Asia, the Middle East, Europe, literally have traveled everywhere, have experienced so many different cultures, been to so many beautiful places. So when the opportunity arose of being able to actually go in and buy in these locations and buy these beautiful places, it raises a whole bunch of different questions, which brings in those limitations, because you can't buy all of your favorite places and all of the different places that you have been to. Originally, all of these countries started out as 10 cents per tile, and as it grew, the prices have increased. And so as these prices increase, it really limits your ability to be able to buy all of these different locations. So you have to start asking yourself, why are you going to buy these tiles? Are you buying it because it is a natural, beautiful place that you like? Are you buying it because it has some historic significance? Are you buying it because it has some personal significance? I think these are kind of like the same questions that everybody asks when they first join Earth 2, of why they are buying, what they are buying, what they should buy. And one of the most important things I have to say for people who are new, Earth 2 is going to be a completely blank slate. There aren't going to be any buildings, so it is going to be completely natural in its pure form. So it is very exciting. It gives the opportunity of being able to create from the ground up, which I think is really exciting, because ultimately I think with 2020 and the pandemic, it really has taught us that Earth 1 has a lot of limitations. We have all felt it on a global level. Yes, I think all of us have felt at some point in our life some kind of limitation. But I think 2020 has taught us globally that we all have felt limitations, and I think Earth 2 opens and allows us to function without certain limitations. So next is space. Your relationship to space completely changes after going on and spending a lot of time on Earth 2. And I think a lot of this actually has changed over time, because in the beginning you weren't able to zoom out that much on Earth 2. You really had to be up close and personal to each tile, and now it's changed where you can actually zoom out. So I have to say, for all of those original OG people on Earth 2, I think their connection to Earth 2 is always going to be different from people who are joining in later. And of course, your relationship to space on Earth 1 starts changing because you start looking at Earth 1 differently, because each tile is a 10 by 10 meter square, which is approximately 1,000 plus square feet each tile. You start looking at the size of houses, the size of buildings, you start looking at roads, infrastructure, all of these things you start really paying attention to. You start calculating and figuring out how many tiles you need in order to build a home or a community or whatever it may be. So the relationship to space really changes when you spend a lot of time on Earth 2. And next is time. Oh my gosh, your relationship to time really changes, because on Earth 2 things happen so quickly. And I know there has been a lot of complaints about things not moving fast enough, or that the developers are not moving fast enough. But I would definitely challenge that notion, because I will say the day that I started on January 11th, I knew that day when I joined in, the game already has started. The game has already going on. I know people are waiting for this next phase to come out, or this next country to open up, or these Easter eggs to happen, or whatever it may be. People are waiting for the next thing. And in reality, the game is already going. The game has already started. It is already in place. So I would say, for those who don't think that things are moving fast enough, I would definitely encourage you guys to plug into social media, plug into Discord, Facebook, on YouTube. And in fact, for those who want to get plugged in, who want to know all of the different resources, everything that is out there, I have created a Earth 2 directory, an A to Z directory for all of the resources that are out there. And if you want to join the directory, I highly encourage for you to do that, because this is going to be a resource for everybody who joins in. I know right now we're at about 300,000 Earth 2 users, and we are going to keep growing. So this is the best place for people to get a quick, precise directory that will be in the description box below. And another thing in relationship to time is time zones. Oh my gosh, there are over 300,000 users, like I said, Earth 2 users, and there are people from all over the Earth. So with the time zones, it really, there's so much information that's coming out. I always feel like I'm behind. I'm not able to watch everybody's YouTube. I'm not able to read everybody's comment. I'm not able to see every resource that comes out about Earth 2 because of the time zones. Time is a huge factor in Earth 2, so is space, and so is opportunities, looking at the world differently. All right, number 2. This is something I have absolutely loved and enjoyed doing. I love traveling, so just spending time on Google is one of my favorite things to do. So with Earth 2, being able to explore it and then being able to buy it is so much fun. There are so many different beautiful places to be able to check out, so that is really fun. And another thing that I really like to do is checking out and comparing different, I don't know, I would call it anomalies. Earth 2 uses Mapbox, and comparing that to Google Maps, and then comparing that to the satellite GPS versus just the map version of it. And now with the heated map. So there's so many different layers, looking at Earth 1 and looking at Earth 2, and then finding those anomalies, because you can go on and you can look at the satellite version versus the map version. And in the satellite version, you can see an island will appear, but it won't be on the map version, and vice versa, which I think is very interesting. And then you have other anomalies. In fact, I actually came out with a YouTube video, one of the first YouTube videos that I did, which was on the twinkle stars, or portals, or Easter eggs, or whatever you wanted to call them. And here I am going to toot my own horn.
Toot, 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 toot.
In that video, I questioned the fact of Easter eggs. Or are these Easter eggs? Did the developers plant something on Earth 2? Which brings me to my next questions. Are the developers even putting Easter eggs into Earth 2? Should we be looking for them? Are they in different countries? And in what countries? And as far as I know, I am the first person to actually ask about Easter eggs. Is this something that developers are actually going to bring into the game? And as we know now, actually today, March 5th, Easter egg hunt is on. The Easter eggs, I think the Easter eggs are really fun, and I'm really excited that the developers are actually doing that. I cannot wait until the Easter eggs are actually released. And, you know, regarding the twinkle stars or the blue dots, the red dots, the rainbows, the white lights, whatever you want to call them, whatever they are, maybe some of these things are nothing. I know some people say that it is just a glitch, it is just a glitch, it is a satellite glitch, or it is a airplane that has been censored out, or it is a solar panel, or it's a mirror, or it's metal. But I think as we move into Earth 2 and as it starts growing and developing, there are limited tiles, there are limited classes, and so in saying that, there are limited of these sparkle things. Maybe they're not Easter eggs, maybe they're nothing special within the Earth 2 realm, but I think they're going to be special in the fact that they could be NFTs, and they are going to be very unique. There are only so many out there, and I think it all comes down to the value and the price that you put on something, just like in the real world. Some things are more valuable because a whole bunch of people give it value. You can think of different brands, you can think of Prada, you can think of Louis Vuitton or whatever. These brands and what they offer are more expensive because more people put value on them. And I think the same thing goes within Earth 2. The same thing goes for NFTs, with anything that is a collectible or anything that is of value. So just food for thought regarding that. That can be a whole nother video within itself, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a part 2 on those twinkle stars. So getting back to exploring Earth 2, another thing that I love doing is going down rabbit holes.
Curiosity often leads to trouble. Goodbye, Dinah. Goodbye.
Is exploring treasure trails, and what I mean by that is going on people's profiles and checking out what they have bought, but also checking out in certain people's profiles on their property. They would put URLs in their property title, and then you would click on them and they would bring you to different resources or different information, which I think was really fun. I still do it. I think it's very interesting, the different things that are out there, since there are over 300,000 users, 300,000 profiles. There is a lot of different fun things out there that people actually do. They literally leave little breadcrumbs to like bring you to different locations, which is really, really fun. Really have enjoyed those. But that kind of like raises the question of privacy within Earth 2. Since you can click on anybody's profile, this is actually something that I have been thinking about for a while now, is the privacy, since there is no privacy. You do not have the option of making your profile private, but at the same time, I kind of appreciate that, because there is a transparency. There can't be anything hidden. Ultimately, if you're looking for it, you can find it. I know a lot of people were looking for different profiles, different celebrity profiles, such as Logan Paul.
You own quite a bit of property over on Earth 2. Anybody in the chat knows what Earth 2 is? I own a piece of the Grand Canyon. I own a part of the tip of Mount Everest. I own part of Santa Monica Beach.
I know people have been looking for Elon Musk profiles as well, and I have also found other people's profiles, and who's to say that they are these people or not these people until they actually come out and say that yes, that is their profile. But I think the question is raised on privacy is you can't buy a property and hide that you're buying that property. So there is that complete transparency. You can see the property that they bought. You can see how much it was bought for, how many times that it was rebought. So that privacy completely goes out of the window. It is completely transparent, but I think that's a really good philosophical question. I know Ken from the philosophy group on Facebook, which is an excellent group. I don't know why it doesn't have more followers. I think the last time I saw there was like 12 followers in the philosophy group. I would highly suggest for you guys to check that out. I think anything related to Earth 2 that has to do with philosophy, sociology, psychology, anthropology, anything of like really digging in and seeing the morals and the ethics and the reasoning behind Earth 2 is going to be something. I guess this goes along with my predictions, which is going to come later in the video. But I definitely think those things are really going to stand out as Earth 2 grows and as it develops, because this is going to be a long-term thing. This is not a short-term, a year game, 2-year game, or whatever. This is going to be a lifetime. This is something that is going to ultimately completely revolutionize a lot of things and a lot of ways that we work and we live and function in society. So in saying all of that, I would definitely join the philosophy group if that is something that fascinates you and that you want to plug into. Check it out. Ken is awesome. He writes all kinds of different interesting philosophies and brings up different questions. So those are some of the things that I have explored on Earth 2. And like I said, I could talk about each one of these topics forever and ever, but I just kind of want to go through and give a bullet point of each one of these different topics. So the next topic that I want to talk about is game versus investment. This has been a huge one. Is Earth 2 a game, or is it Earth 2 an investment? Is it an investment? So I know in the beginning a lot of people were comparing Earth 2 to be completely revolutionary, like Google, like eBay, like cryptocurrency, where it is a completely different structure that is completely going to revolutionize a lot of different things. And so a lot of people were wondering, is this a game or is this an investment? Because I think there is a huge difference between a game and an investment. A game is something that you do for fun. A game is something that can be considered a waste of time. And also too, a game, when I think of a game, I always think of a winner and a loser. So with Earth 2 being a game, then that would mean that there would be winners, that there would be losers. And I don't think that's something that necessarily that people want to think about when investing. They don't want to think about being a winner or a loser within investing. But ultimately, I think a lot of people who are investors, who do invest, whether it be in the stock market or cryptocurrency or commodities or whatever it is, investing ultimately is a game. And there are winners and losers. There are people who win money, who make money, and people who lose money, depending on what you invest in. So I don't know. I think the connection between game and an investment is actually a lot closer than people were making it. This is something that was kind of more in the beginning of separating like a game versus like an investment, and as I think it's developing and growing, we're seeing that it is both a game and an investment. In fact, Shane actually came out and said something regarding this. The question was, is this a game or an investment? And Shane says, I see this platform for many things. Yes, it's a game, but we are also building a platform for the future. Platforms include many different things. So there you go. The answer is both. It is a game, and it is a platform, and being a platform, it is going to be an investment, or already is in an investment, and on this platform it's going to develop and grow over time. I know people are talking about and saying that ultimately, eventually, at one point, we will be able to work in Earth 2, and it will be a income generating, instead of people going to a 9-to-5 job, that people will be going on Earth 2, and that will be in a job. So I don't know. I think this is something that is going to develop and that is going to grow over time since it is a platform. For example, Facebook. Facebook is a platform and Facebook has evolved over time. So I think that Earth 2 will definitely develop and it will build over time. It is a platform, and yes, it is a game, and yes, it is an investment, and it will be exciting to see how a game and an investment play out. So number 4, Earth 2 users versus non-Earth 2 users. I have told my friends and family about Earth 2, and there are people who love it, people who hate it, people who don't understand it, people who are confused by it, and people who just think it is the most ridiculous thing ever. And you know, I think that just goes with anything. I think that goes with anything new. I have been a part of many different startups. I have seen a lot over the years. So I have seen a lot of different people's personalities regarding different things. And you know, when something new comes out, people like it, some people hate it, some people, you know, have all different feelings about it. And I will say, for the people that I talk to who hate it, and when I talk to them and I ask them why that they hate it, when I have heard from them, is because they're concerned about the future. And I totally get that. I totally understand this concern about the future. They say that they're concerned about AI, they're concerned about AR, they're concerned about robots. They saw a little too many Black Mirror episodes or Electric Dream episodes. And I think that is definitely a legitimate concern. I know this is something that Elon Musk also brings up himself, but ultimately, I think, and the way that I look at it is, we are moving towards the future no matter what. Technology is going to grow. We are going to advance as a civilization. So I think the best way to actually tackle this, or to actually tackle the concern or the fear of where we're moving as a society, is to actually be a part of it. I think that's the best thing that you could possibly do, is to be a part of the development of this. So if you are, and I would challenge people who hate this or hate the idea of us maybe eventually living within a matrix or living in a virtual reality or being the foundation of Ready Player One, I would say, why don't you join it? Why don't you become a part of it? And then that way that you can shape it and develop it and have some say in it. If you have concerns of these things taking over, then implementing those philosophies, go back to philosophy, those ethics, those things that actually can create a really strong, solid foundation so that we can springboard off of, and that we can actually truly become better society and a better community. What are your guys' thoughts on that? If there are any people who are actually listening who actually hate the idea of Earth 2 or us moving into a virtual reality. And next, those that I have talked to who think that it is ridiculous, who think it is one big joke or do not understand it, I would say that it would be the same thing of anything that is new. Same thing with electricity. Electricity is not something that you have to understand to be able to enjoy the benefits of it. The same thing goes with electricity, the internet, cryptocurrency. I mean, on and on the list can go of things that people don't understand but they use on a day-to-day basis. Or people may have thought were ridiculous, such as cryptocurrency. And I think there are a lot of people who still think that cryptocurrency is absolutely ridiculous, and that it will go away. But time will only tell, and I think it is definitely something that is not going to go away, and that it is here to stay, and it is going to definitely shape and change our future. So same thing goes with Earth 2. Who knows? Maybe it will all fall apart. I'm not going to say that it won't. Just like there has been other things that have started, like for example, MySpace came out, and eventually Facebook came over and took over. The list can go on and on of different examples. So this could be something that doesn't develop, but I think with the hyper growth that we have seen, with 300,000 users, with the developers and everybody who is a part of this, I think this is definitely something that is not going to go away, and that is going to grow, and that is going to develop, and is going to be huge as it spreads throughout the world. And last, the people who love it. I don't think we need to say much about the people who love it. I think, people who love it, who are part of it, obviously they're going to make the most out of it, because these ultimately are the people who think the future is now. I mean, these are the people who actually are feeling like they are building the future, that they are building the groundwork for something to come. And I think it takes a lot of faith to be able to see a vision, to take that on and to develop it and to grow it. And I think that is a absolutely beautiful thing. In fact, the very first video that I wanted to come out with on my YouTube channel was going to be titled Earth 2 and the Wild Wild West. When I first joined Earth 2, I saw that it was definitely the Wild Wild West. Anything goes, everything goes. And as it has grown and as it has developed, it has become less and less of the Wild Wild West, because there are more rules and more structures and more things that are playing out. But I think the connection between the Wild Wild West and Earth 2 is really accurate. Just like the Wild Wild West, you look at it historically, these were pioneers. These were the visionaries. These were the leaders. These were the developers. These were people who were willing to take a chance for a better life. So just like in the Wild Wild West, Earth 2 has brought a lot of curious people, visionaries, leaders, inventors, creators, outliers. Speaking of philosophy and psychology, if you guys have not read the book Outliers, I would highly suggest for you to do so. I really think this is a fabulous, fabulous book. It really, if you have read it, you'll understand what I mean by outliers and how these are the people, the starting people who have really spread the news of Earth 2. So yeah, Earth 2 has really brought a lot of visionaries, a lot of leaders, a lot of creators, a lot of people who think outside the box, a lot of people who want a better future, a lot of people who are willing to put in the time, the effort, the energy, the financial resources into building something beautiful, into building something creative, into building something very inventive. I just will say I'm really excited about that. I think, and if anything, I think that's what fascinates me the most. I am very interested in this. I really love connecting to all of you guys. I have in the past month plus, I have really talked to a lot of you guys. You guys have been really kind, really encouraging, really motivating, very inspirational. I've talked to a lot of people who have started different megacities, who have different YouTube channels or different websites or whatever it may be. And just the amount of encouragement, enthusiasm has been overwhelming. And I like I said, I told my husband when I joined Earth 2 and I started interacting with everybody, I'm like, oh my gosh, I found my tribe. I found my group of people who are like-minded. And I think that is absolutely amazing, because I think in a sense we all kind of are, the people who joined in the very beginning are kind of a little bit like black sheep. Those are the ones who go against the grain, or the ones who see things a little bit differently and are sharing the vision with other people. And I think the more that this is shared with other people, the more that this will develop. So I think you guys rock. I think it is absolutely amazing what everybody is doing and what everybody is creating, because truly it is all about the community. This is what Earth 2 is about, just like Earth 1, really. It is all about cities, it's all about community, it's all about networking. So the same thing goes on Earth 2. That is something that definitely has stayed consistent. And scientists say we are just naturally, even if you are an extrovert or an introvert, we are social beings and we want to connect with other people, and that is just part of our DNA and is part of who we are. So communities is what it is all about. And you know, within every community, just on Earth 1, there are people who are nice and people who are not nice, but you know, that is just a part of life. So there are 3 types of people that I have seen on Earth 2. Number 1 are people who come in with the community already, who either come in with friends and family, and they are able to build something together as a community, as friends and family, as a network, and that really gives them that really strong foundation and that really strong network. Number 2 are people who come in with resources, which come in with money. People who are coming in with a large amount of money and are able to build something big depending on how much money that they bring in with their vision and their inspiration. And number 3 are people who have time, people who have a lot of time due to the pandemic of 2020. This has actually given a lot of people a lot of opportunity of time and being able to reevaluate their life. So people who have the luxury of time are able to really spend a lot of time on this, and they're able to develop it. Maybe they don't have the family and the friends who believe in it, or maybe they don't have the financial benefit of it, but they have the time to be able to create something. So those are the 3 different types of people that I have really seen that come into the community. But ultimately, the goal is the same. I think for the most part, the goal is the same for everybody. Everybody who has joined, and no matter what resources that you bring in, whether it be money, time, or friends and family, or a combination of all of them, that we all want to build a better future, that we all want to create something really fun and something very beneficial for everybody. So going along with topic number 4 of Earth 2 users who have joined Earth 2, the visionaries, the leaders, the inventors, the creators, also a category that I like to call the socials, are the people who are socially active on Earth 2, who either have a YouTube page or a mega city or a website or whatever it is. These are the social people, which also kind of brings me into the next topic, which is topic number 5, mega cities versus corporations. So I was actually watching a video by Jaron Clark. He is a YouTuber. He is an Earth 2 user YouTuber. He, in one of his videos, he talks about a prediction.
What's the next big thing is going to be where creators come in and create great content for this game.
And it definitely has come to pass. There have been more and more social media influencers for Earth 2. And I think this creates a whole new industry. This platform has created social media influencers. This is a platform where people can actually come out with merch or different products. This also creates a whole industry for NFTs as well. So this really has given people, the common man, a jump start on Earth 2, because once corporations come in and are able to have the financial resources and have the manpower to be able to buy land, this is going to definitely change the game. So I really think anybody who is a part of a mega city or who has started a mega city, this is where it's all about. This really has given the opportunity for Earth 2 users to build a very strong community, to be able to build a vision, to be able to build something that is outside of what is on Earth 1 now, that is these corporations, these conglomerates that are coming in and dictating and controlling our lives. This platform, this Earth 2 platform, has really given an opportunity for everybody, anybody. It doesn't really matter who you are, to be able to come in and really build something amazing. And to be honest with you, I think mega cities are fantastic. I think more the merrier. If you are new to Earth 2 and you don't know what mega cities are, they're essentially just communities. They're communities of people who have a like-minded vision of what they would like to see on Earth 2. And there are many different mega cities all over the world. In fact, Earth 2 WIZ, which stands for World Interconnection Zone. WIZ has WIZ hubs all over in different mega cities, which is a whole nother video within itself. I can talk about WIZ hubs later. But yeah, I really do believe in these, as the developers do as well. Because like I said, Earth 2 is all about the community. It's all about networking. It's all about building something that will last. And I will make a prediction here. I think the communities that are organized the most, that have the most structure, vision, and have a really strong core of people who are ready and who are active in creating and developing the mega cities, these are the mega cities that will survive and thrive. And if you haven't done so, join a mega city and join a mega city that resonates with you. And if you don't know what mega city to join, I have the Earth 2 directory. You can go and check out all of the mega cities. In fact, I am going to give a little plug for my mega city that I have built with several other people. Very excited about it is Atlantis, which I will talk about in another video, but I just want to quickly say Atlantis is a high-tech, green, eco, luxury, nature-loving environment. It is the recreation of Atlantis on Earth too. So if you want to be a part of Atlantis, you can check that out. So, quick rundown, what I have learned in the past 30 days. Oh my gosh. I have bought land, made connections with some really amazing people, bought hubs in megacities, created the first megacity in Miramar, built YouTube, Instagram, social media platforms for Earth-2Wiz, also for Atlantis as well, created a Earth-2 directory, and most importantly, I have made some really amazing friends. So I will say, in which I don't think this will happen, but I will say if it all does crumble and if all does fall apart, I think just the experience of making some really amazing friends and really meeting some really like-minded people has been well worth this amazing ride on Earth-2. So now let's talk about the negative. I am not a negative person. I do not like to dwell on negativity, but I am also a realist, and reality is that there has been a lot of negativity, and I am going to get into that. So let's talk about number 6, the bad and the ugly. I kind of touched base a little bit earlier on people complaining about how slow it is, and one of the biggest complaints is on the developers and saying that the developers are really slow and then they are not coming out with something as fast as they would like for them to come out with. I think this is a ridiculous criticism, and I think this is only something that you can really truly understand if you are, or if you have been a part of building a company from the ground up, or if you are a part of the tech world, or if you are a part of any development within that kind of spectrum, is you really understand how some things take a long time. Next is withdrawals. This is something that developers keep addressing because there has been constant complaints about withdrawals. If you have ever invested in stocks or commodities or whatever, it does take a while to process things. People do need to realize that. There are a lot of things that are involved in processing payments. And then add on top of that the extra layer of this being a new platform and them having to work out a lot of kinks. There has been a lot of attempted fraud and a lot of people who are trying to scam the system. They have talked about bots and how people are using bots to go in to buy property or take property from other people. When it is locked in the game, you can't really do anything about it, but once that is released, people are able to benefit and profit off of that. And this is something that the developers are monitoring and watching and are very careful about. So whenever somebody does a withdrawal, it takes a while because they have to go into that history and they have to see if there wasn't any fraud. Obviously, if it is taking a long time, there's something going on with your account and that they have to look into and they have to inspect. There are a lot of people who are just flat out lying, which actually brings me to my next point, are the trolls. Like anything new that comes out, or anything really in life, are the trolls, are people who are just going to hate it for the mere fact of hating it. Those are going to be the people who are creating drama. Those are the ones who are going to be lying. So that is what it is. I think, honestly, I think the developers are doing the best that they possibly can, dealing with complaints, dealing with withdrawals, dealing with trolls, dealing with bots, dealing with all of the negativity that comes along with it. I think they are doing a great job and I am highly impressed. So my tips and tricks for my fellow Earth-2 users or people who are thinking of joining Earth-2. Number 1, if you are nervous, about putting money into Earth-2, or you are concerned about the legitimacy of Earth-2, flat out don't do it. Just don't do it. If you are concerned about it, don't do it. You have to be okay putting in money and never seeing that money again. That just goes with investing or putting anything into a startup. Like I said, I have been a part of many different startups. Some of them succeeded and some of them don't. And that's just inevitable with anything. I can go on and talk about multiple different companies that had great promises but did not end up succeeding. And there are many different companies that have decades and decades of growth and financial benefit and have ended up crumbling. That's just inevitable in anything. So if you are nervous about it, to relieve your stress, I think the best suggestion for you to do is just do not even invest in the beginning. Number 2, remember that Earth 2 is a blank slate. It is completely going back to its natural state. So whatever you buy, just think of it what it is, what it would look like in its natural form. So all of these cities that exist on Earth 1 will not exist. All of these buildings will not exist. They did mention that you will have the layover of Earth 1, so historical sites and buildings and everything could be there, but within Earth 2, it is going to be completely building from the ground up.
Earth 2 will basically be a clean slate in the beginning. There will be no artificial things. Everything nature offers will be there. Everything humans build will not be there, because we want you to build stuff for the roads.
On the map that you see now, those buildings will remain there because they are a reference point to what's in Earth 1 as compared to Earth 2. So in the future, there may be filters on that map that you can see what's in Earth 2, you can see what is in Earth 1, and compare to them together. So in a sense, those buildings will remain on the map, but when we get to the actual phase of building inside Earth 2, yes, as Wolfgang has said, it will be a clean slate.
Keep that in mind when you are buying property. I've already talked about this, and then we'll keep talking about this. Connect with the community, whatever that may be, on whatever social media platform. There is a new social media platform, which I'm very excited about. It is a social network for Earth 2 users, so I would highly suggest for you to join that, because I think that is definitely going to be something that is going to grow and develop over time, and that will be a great resource. And also too, you can check out my Earth 2 directory, which I've already talked about before. And my very last thing that I want to talk about is predictions. My predictions of how I see Earth 2 developing in the next few months. Number 1, communities are going to grow, and they are going to develop, and they are going to be bigger and more advanced as we grow and as it expands, and we have more Earth 2 users growing from 300,000 to 1 million. Those who are organized and structured and have really laid that really good solid foundation from the beginning will be the most successful megacities. Next is collaborations. I think collaborations are going to be huge as we grow as a community. Networking and collaborations with other fellow megacities, or other YouTubers, or other social media influencers, or whatever kind of collaboration you can think of. I think that is going to be definitely on the rise. For everybody who is listening, who has a project, who has a megacity, who has a website, whatever it is, I would love to do a collaboration with you. I would love to have you on my YouTube channel. I would love to talk to you about what you have to offer. I'd love to host you so that you can talk about your project and share it with other people who are watching this YouTube channel. Another thing that I am seeing and that I am predicting is the rise of NFTs. Shane actually addressed today, #NFT. We are going to see more and more rise of NFTs, and the value of NFTs are going to increase. I think that's going to be huge. And the last thing that I predict is the collaboration and connection of the developers with community developers and builders and leaders, people who've developed megacities, websites, whatever, connecting with developers, because I think the developers really do value Earth 2 users, and I think this is something amazing that they have built, that Shane and the whole team have built in the very beginning, that they did not go after corporations and companies in developing Earth 2, that it was more organic growth. Whether it was part of their original vision, or if it's because they blew up on social media because of the TikTok and had a huge influx of people. Whatever the reason is, or however it came about, I think they really do value Earth 2 users' opinions. So I think we will see more and more of the developers doing collaborations with Earth 2 users, and which I think is amazing, because if you think of it, if you think of Facebook, Apple, whatever, all of these other big, huge companies, these companies just come in with a vision, and this is what they do, and then they share it with the masses. This is kind of a collaboration with society. We have the developers collaborating with the users in developing Earth 2. And I think it's very cool, because they can just tune it all out and just build what they want to build and develop what they want to develop and connect with companies and corporations in developing and building this, because this is going to be big. people will jump on board. This is going to be something that is going to completely revolutionize a lot of different things, and they don't have to listen. They don't have to listen to the Earth 2 users, that they can just build something on their own. So I think the fact that they are actually taking the time to listen, to hear, and being able to connect to Earth 2 users and take into consideration, I think that's amazing. Who knows, maybe the YouTube video that I did coming out and talking about Portal's Easter eggs, maybe that was the thing that got the ball rolling with Easter eggs. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts? I know this video ran a little bit longer than I expected, but I mean, hello, 1 month, or actually more like 2 months of things that are going on. So much to talk about, and I can keep talking about it, but I think I'm going to leave this video as is now. If there is something else that you would like me to address or talk about Earth 2, let me know in the comments below. I will be coming out with new videos all the time on Earth 2. And in fact, I will also be going live. I'm going to be going live on Earth 2. Trying to figure out a schedule of when I will be coming out. So check that out when I will be coming out, going live. We'll be doing live Q&A, talking about different things. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, for those who have stayed to the end of this video. And make sure to like, subscribe, you know, do all that fun stuff for YouTube. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye.